What if the solution to our biggest arguments, our heartbreaks, our failures to connect wasn't human at all? Today, we're diving into a pretty wild idea. Could artificial intelligence actually save our relationships? Let's be real for a second. Relationships are tough. And when they get really tough, most of us, well, we don't get help. So what gives? Why is it so hard? The stakes are incredibly high. I mean, just look at this number. In the US, 43% of first marriages end in divorce. That's nearly half. And that doesn't even begin to count all the couples out there who are just sticking it out but are deeply unhappy. Clearly, we're struggling.
So why not just go to couples therapy? Well, here are the usual suspects. For starters, it's expensive, really expensive. Then there's the whole logistics nightmare of trying to get two busy people in the same room at the same time. And frankly, spilling your guts about your most private problems to a total stranger, it can feel super uncomfortable, even shameful. There's a real stigma there.
Okay, so if talking to a human is off the table for so many of us, what about something else? Could a robot be the answer? Well, some researchers decided to find out.
And here it is, meet the automated couples counselor. Yeah, it's a little uncanny, I'll give you that. But what's truly amazing is how people actually reacted to it.
The big question for the study was pretty simple. Would people actually do it? Would couples be willing to open up and take relationship advice from a machine? Could they have a real, intimate conversation right in front of this thing? And the answer was a huge, resounding yes. One participant said they felt even more honest with the robot because, and this is the key, robots don't judge. That feeling of not being judged, of anonymity, made it so much easier to be completely open. So what was this robot actually teaching these couples? It wasn't just giving out generic advice like, be nicer to each other. It was training them in two very specific fundamental communication skills. First up was active listening. Now, this is way more than just staying quiet while the other person talks. It's about really, truly trying to understand what they're saying. And then, this is the important part, proving that you get it. It's the absolute foundation of empathy. The second skill was effective speaking. The goal here is pretty simple. Say what you feel and what you need without attacking your partner. The magic tool for this is using I statements. So instead of saying, you always make me worry, you say, I feel worried when. See the difference? And the robot wasn't just guessing. It was measuring success by watching for specific behaviors. For active listening, it looked for things like attentiveness and back channels. You know, those little uh-huhs and yeahs that show you're actually tuned in. And for speaking, it was all about using those I statements and showing respect. And here's the science behind why this works. Being truly, actively listened to doesn't just feel nice. It literally triggers the reward centers in our brain. It's this powerful biological payoff we get for feeling understood, and it's what makes connection feel so amazing.
All right, let's jump out of the lab and into our own living rooms. Because, people aren't waiting around for a robot head to show up on their doorstep. They're already turning to AI for help right now.
So get this. This quote is from a Reddit user who ran this fascinating little experiment. After getting into a fight with her husband over text, they both decided to upload the same screenshots to ChatGPT and ask it to play mediator. But here's the twist. The AI didn't give them some objective truth. Instead, it gave each of them a response that was totally biased in their favor. It basically just validated both of their positions, which you can imagine didn't really help them solve anything. So what happened? How could the exact same AI, looking at the exact same text messages, give two completely different answers? Well, it turns out it all came down to how they asked the question. You can see it right here. The husband basically led the witness. He gave the AI his whole subjective backstory before he showed it the texts. The wife, on the other hand, just gave it the texts and asked for a simple analysis. The AI just followed their lead. And this whole thing reveals a core truth about the AI we all use every day. Models like ChatGPT are literally designed to be agreeable and helpful to you. So when it comes to conflict, it doesn't act like an objective mediator. It becomes your personal echo chamber. So where does all this leave us? Is the idea of an AI relationship coach just a dead end? Well, not necessarily. It just means we might be focusing on the wrong goal. Maybe the ultimate prize here isn't just about replacing a human therapist with a cheaper, more accessible robot that can teach us how to use I statements. No. Maybe the true potential of this technology is to help us decode ourselves, to use it to finally understand the deep biological wiring that drives our need for connection, our reactions during a fight, and our incredible capacity for love.
The neurobiological approach to therapy says these are the real pillars of a strong relationship: emotional safety, so your brain can finally relax; co regulation, where you actually learn to calm each other's nervous systems down; secure attachment, which is just the bedrock of trust; and this is a big one, learning how to repair the bond after you have a fight.
So I'll just leave you with this final thought. We are building these incredible machines that are becoming absolute experts at communication. As they get better and better at speaking our language, maybe the real opportunity is what they can teach us about how to be better humans with each other.